Let's go for a ride in our 2014 Nissan Leaf test vehicle. And while we're driving, we're not going to use any gas. Let's go. The reason, of course, why we're not going to use any gas is because it's an electric vehicle. There's no engine, there's no tailpipe, it runs on electricity. So let's go. Driving the Leaf is pretty much like driving a regular vehicle, except when you start it, it's really quiet. You don't hear the exhaust. You don't hear any, well, you hear the radio because I have that on. You don't hear any of the usual sounds that you normally hear with an internal combustion engine. It's very, very quiet. So you just select drive and you go. One thing we've noticed in our week of driving the Leaf is that you tend after a while to drive it differently than a gas car. I have it in the eco mode, and that of course adjusts the throttle and the performance of the car to try to get you the best range you possibly can. It's all about driving range. On a complete full charge, I think it's rated at around 80 miles or maybe a little bit more than that. But in the real world, it actually depends on how you drive. If you are a lead foot, like most journalists are, me included, you're going to use up your charge really fast, and that means you got to go back and charge it. But if you drive it really, really smoothly, you can extend your range. It also has regenerative braking, which means when you apply the brakes, the heat that the brakes generate, which is normally lost to the atmosphere, goes into is regenerated into energy, and the energy charges your battery. This has lithium-ion batteries, of course. Oh, let me mention that the Leaf was initially made in Japan, and now it's made in a couple of other places as well. This one is made in Nissan's plant in Tennessee. So it's U.S. production, and they're building a lot of Leafs. You see them all over the place now, especially in LA, where it's kind of easier to drive electric vehicles, and actually they're a little bit more accepted here too because of the environment. Everyone likes to do their part. But driving it is very, very easy. It's very quiet. You don't hear any noise. There's no typical noises from, you know, engine sounds, and you hear a little bit of motor noises, like a whirring noise, and you hear sound from the tires and a little bit of wind noise. But generally, it's very, very, very quiet. Electric motors are very responsive too. Unlike a gasoline engine, where the engine has to build up torque, spool up power, it takes time. An electric motor, the torque is almost instantaneously. You just press the accelerator. If you shut off the eco mode, it'll really go. I mean, it'll really fly. And that's a fairly neat feature about electric cars that we like a lot. But again, that totally depends on how you drive, and you can play a game sort of and try to get the best possible mileage you can by being real gentle with the accelerator pedal, real smooth. This model of the Leaf is called the SL. I like the initials because those are my initials too. And what that does, it's the top of the line model. It gives you a lot of equipment, a lot of luxury features, you might say, including leather seats. This has front and rear heated leather seats, which is really cool. This one has navigation. It's got the around view monitor, where when you back up, I demonstrated that before, when you back up, it gives you the view around the vehicle. You can actually, it has 4 cameras, front, back, and both side mirrors, and you can actually see if anything's around you when you're backing up. And as equipped with that option package, which has the high navigation system and a lot of other neat things, the Bose audio, this vehicle is about $37,000. Now, that sounds like a lot of money, but actually there are incentives. You have to check in wherever you live, your area. There are federal incentives which give you a tax credit. I believe it's as high as $7,500. And you have to read all the fine print. There's maybe local and state incentives as well, depending on where you live. But overall, when you factor in the point that you're never going to have to buy gas for this car, which now is, you know, well over $4 a gallon, just imagine how much money you're going to save. We don't have a charging station in our house, obviously, because we don't own an electric car, but we've been going to the ChargePoint charging stations. It's a network. They're all over LA. We have 2 in our area. We live kind of out in the suburbs, and up until now there hasn't been any, but they put in 2. And so that's really cool because you can go to certain charge points and they're absolutely free. I mean free. Once you register with ChargePoint, you don't have to pay for the charge. So this is really one of the first press cars we've ever had where we've had to pay nothing to drive it. I mean zip. The charge is free. You don't need any gas whatsoever. It's really quite an amazing deal driving the Leaf. And it fit into our lifestyle fairly well. We actually could live, we were talking about this, we actually could live with an electric car because we have no commute to work. We have a home office. We could live with an electric car. And it's really quite a thought-provoking process because our cars are getting old and we're thinking of replacing them. And we were talking, could we really live with an electric car? And after driving it for a week, yes, we could. And so can a lot of other people. And that's why Nissan is so successful with the Leaf. So we give the Leaf a double thumbs up, the biggest thumbs up we can. If I had more thumbs, I'd even use the ones on my feet. It's a wonderful vehicle. You should try one. You should go try one, go drive it around. There are probably places where you can rent them and drive it for more than just, you know, the typical test drive at your dealer. And it's really quite an amazing thing. It changes your life. You feel good about driving this car, and I think people who own it are going to feel good for a very long time. There aren't too many cars, at least in this price bracket, where you can make that statement. So, way to go, Nissan. Gigantic thumbs up. And keep on producing the Leaf and making it better and hopefully extending the battery range over time. I'm going to come around and shut off the camera. Thank you so much for riding with us. Have a great day. Bye now. Thanks again for riding with us in the 2014 Nissan Leaf, and we'll see you next time. Bye now.